The sound of packing tape ripping through the silence of our bedroom felt like a battle cry. Each strip I pulled across another cardboard box was another step toward freedom, even as Walker's last words echoed in my head. "You'll regret this. Nobody leaves me without consequences." My name is Maria, and after 8 years of marriage, I was finally doing what my mother called the most foolish thing imaginable, leaving my perfectly respectable, successful husband. "Mummy, why are you putting all your clothes in boxes?" Daisy's small voice made me freeze. I turned to find her standing in the doorway, clutching her favourite stuffed giraffe. "Remember how we talked about Mummy getting her own special place?" I kept my voice steady, though my hands shook as I folded another sweater. "Well, today's the day I'm moving there. But why can't I come with you?" Her bottom lip trembled. Before I could answer, Walker's footsteps thundered up the stairs. "Daisy, go to your room," he commanded, his voice carrying that familiar false sweetness that made my skin crawl. Once she was gone, he leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. "You're making a mistake, Maria. What will your sister say, your mother? They know you're being ridiculous." I continued packing, refusing to meet his gaze. "They don't know everything, Walker. They know enough." He chuckled, that condescending sound I'd grown to hate. "They know you're throwing away a perfectly good marriage because you're too sensitive, too emotional, just like always." My phone buzzed. A text from June. "The moving truck is here. You've got this." Walker's face darkened as he read the message over my shoulder. "June, of course. She's always been a bad influence. She's been a true friend," I corrected, zipping up my last suitcase. "Unlike the people who were supposed to support me." "Your family supports you plenty," he sneered. "They support you staying right here where you belong." The movers appeared at the top of the stairs, and Walker's demeanour instantly changed. His smile became warm, his voice friendly. "Gentlemen, please be careful with those boxes. My wife is just moving some things to storage." "No," I said firmly, surprising myself with my steady voice. "I'm moving out." The movers glanced between us awkwardly before starting their work. Walker grabbed my arm as I tried to pass him, his fingers digging into my skin. "Think about what you're doing to Daisy," he hissed. I pulled away. "I'm thinking about showing her that her mother isn't weak." An hour later, I stood in my new apartment, a tiny one-bedroom that cost nearly half my monthly salary. The walls were bare, the furniture sparse, but it was mine. June helped me unpack the essentials, her presence a silent comfort. "Your mother called 3 times while we were moving," she said, handing me a cup of coffee. "And Jocelyn twice." I sighed, checking my phone. 5 missed calls, 12 text messages, all variations of "what are you thinking" and "come to your senses." "They'll understand eventually," June assured me, but we both knew it wasn't true. My family had always seen Walker as the perfect son-in-law, successful, charming, respected in the community. They'd never believed me when I tried to explain how he slowly chipped away at my confidence, how his jokes cut deep, how his guidance was really control. My phone buzzed again. "Jocelyn." Mum's crying. "How could you do this to us?" "To us," I whispered, feeling the familiar anger rise. "Because, somehow, this is about them." June squeezed my shoulder. "You're doing the right thing. And soon, they'll all see exactly who Walker really is." I nodded, thinking of the journal I'd kept for the past year, documenting every manipulative comment, every gaslighting moment, every time he'd made me question my own sanity. The videos I'd secretly recorded of his tirades, the emails I'd saved where he'd threatened to take Daisy away if I ever left. "I know they will," I said, pulling out my laptop, "because I'm done being silent." As June left for the night, I sat in my new space, surrounded by boxes and uncertainty. My phone lit up with another message, this time from Walker. "You have 1 week to come home before I show everyone what a terrible mother you really are." I smiled, thinking of the evidence safely backed up in 3 different places. "Game on, Walker," I whispered to my empty apartment. "Game on." Sunday, family dinners had been a tradition in our family for as long as I could remember. Now, 2 weeks after leaving Walker, I stood outside my parents' house, my hand frozen above the doorbell. "Just get it over with," I muttered to myself, pressing the button. The door swung open almost immediately. "Oh, she actually showed up," Jocelyn announced to whoever was inside, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "I thought you'd be too busy destroying your life to join us." I stepped past her into the house, the familiar scent of Mum's pot roast filling the air. Walker was already there, sitting at the dining table with Daisy on his lap, playing the perfect father role. "Mummy!" Daisy jumped down and ran to hug me. I held her tight, breathing in her strawberry shampoo scent until Walker cleared his throat. "Daisy, come help Grandma set the table," he said, his voice gentle but firm. She obediently trotted off to the kitchen. My father sat in his usual armchair, hidden behind his newspaper. He lowered it briefly, gave me a weak smile, then disappeared behind it again. Typical dad, avoiding conflict at all costs. "Maria." My mother emerged from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her apron. "I hope you're ready to discuss this ridiculous situation rationally." I pulled my phone from my pocket, discreetly starting the voice recorder app. "There's nothing to discuss, Mum. I've made my decision." "A foolish decision," Jocelyn chimed in, settling onto the couch beside her husband Joshua. "Walker has given you everything. A beautiful home, financial security, a perfect life for Daisy." Joshua shifted uncomfortably, his eyes meeting mine for a moment before looking away. "Perfect?" I laughed. "You have no idea what goes on behind closed doors." "Here we go again with the dramatics," Walker sighed, standing up. "Maria has always had an active imagination." My mother nodded in agreement. "Remember when she was convinced her 3rd-grade teacher was plotting against her?" "This isn't 3rd grade, Mom," I snapped. "This is my life." "A life you're throwing away," Jocelyn added. "Do you know how many women would kill for a husband like Walker?" "Then maybe one of them should marry him," I shot back. The room fell silent. Walker's face darkened for a split second before his perfect mask slipped back into place. "I think we should focus on what's best for Daisy," he said smoothly. "Yes, exactly," my mother agreed. "Think about your daughter, Maria. She needs both parents at home." "She needs a mother who isn't constantly walking on eggshells," I countered. "A mother who isn't afraid to speak her mind or make her own decisions." "Decisions?" Jocelyn scoffed. "Like moving into that tiny apartment, working that dead-end job. Those kinds of decisions." "Dinner's ready," Daisy called from the dining room, unknowingly cutting through the tension. Throughout dinner, I kept the recorder running, capturing every backhanded comment, every subtle dig. Walker played his part perfectly. The concerned husband, the devoted father, the victim of my mental instability. "I just don't understand," my mother said, passing the potatoes. "You've always been so dramatic, Maria, but this takes the cake." "Maybe if you listened instead of judged," I started, but Jocelyn cut me off. "We're judging because we care," she insisted. "Someone has to talk sense into you." I looked around the table, at my father's studied concentration on his plate, at Joshua's uncomfortable silence, at Walker's perfectly composed expression. Only Daisy seemed oblivious to the tension, happily chattering about her school art project. After dinner, as I was preparing to leave, June texted me. "How's it going?" "They don't know everything, do they?" she added in a second message. I smiled, thinking of the recording on my phone and the growing collection of evidence at home. "No," I whispered, "but they will." "Maria." Walker's voice made me jump. He stood in the hallway, that familiar, threatening gleam in his eyes. I hope you're not planning anything stupid. Like what, Walker? Telling the truth? He stepped closer, his voice low. Nobody would believe you over me. You know that, right? We'll see, I replied, walking past him to say goodbye to Daisy. As I drove home, my mother's words echoed in my head. You're tearing this family apart, Maria. No, I thought, gripping the steering wheel tighter. The truth would tear this family apart. And it was about time everyone faced it. My phone buzzed with another text from June. Come over, I have wine and a shoulder to cry on. I changed direction, heading to June's place instead. Sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're born into. And right now, I needed someone who actually believed me. June poured another glass of wine as I played back the recording from dinner. God, the way they talk to you, she muttered, shaking her head. It's like they're all under some kind of spell. Walker's spell, I said, reaching for my laptop. But I've got something better than their words from tonight. I opened a video file from 3 months ago, the night that finally made me decide to leave. The camera had been hidden in our bedroom bookshelf, capturing Walker's reflection in the mirror as he berated me. You really think you could survive without me? Video Walker sneered. Your family knows what a mess you are. They're grateful I put up with you. June squeezed my hand as we watched. When did you start recording? About a year ago, I admitted, after he threatened to take Daisy away. I knew nobody would believe me without proof. A knock at June's door made us both jump. To our surprise, Joshua stood there looking nervous. I followed you from Mum and Dad's, he explained quickly. I needed to talk to you privately. June moved to leave the room, but I grabbed her arm. Whatever you have to say, you can say in front of June, Joshua nodded, settling into an armchair. I've suspected something was off with Walker for a while now. The way he acts when others aren't around. It's different. Different how? I asked, leaning forward. Last month, I stopped by your house unexpectedly to drop off some paperwork. Walker didn't know I could hear him talking to you in the kitchen. Joshua ran a hand through his hair. The things he was saying, I should have said something then. I pulled up another video on my laptop. Like this? The video showed Walker in our kitchen, his face twisted with anger. You think you're so smart with your little business ideas? You can barely manage our household budget. You're embarrassing me in front of everyone. Joshua's face paled. Yes, exactly like that. But Jocelyn, she worships the ground Walker walks on. Every time I've tried to hint that something might be wrong, she shuts me down. Because he's the perfect son-in-law, I said bitterly. The successful businessman who married the family disappointment. You're not a disappointment, Maria, June interjected firmly. Show them, Joshua said suddenly. Show them all of it. The whole family needs to see who he really is. I played another recording, this one from last Christmas. Walker's voice filled the room. Your sister's new car, your mother's renovation. Who do you think paid for those? They owe me. They'll never believe you over me. Joshua's eyes widened. He's been buying their loyalty? More like their blindness, June muttered. I'll help you, Joshua said, standing up. Whatever you need. I can't watch this continue, especially not with Daisy involved. As if on cue, my phone buzzed with a text from Walker. Daisy misses her mother. Shame you're too selfish to come home. I showed them the message. He does this every night, uses Daisy to try to guilt me into coming back. We need more, June said, pacing the room. Something they can't ignore or explain away. Joshua pulled out his phone. I have an idea. Walker's been trying to get me to invest in his new business venture. He's been persistent. I could wear a wire, get him talking. Be careful, I warned. He's smart. He knows how to act when he thinks people are watching. Trust me, Joshua said, his jaw set. I know how to push his buttons now. After Joshua left, June and I spent hours organising my evidence. Videos, recordings, text messages, emails, each piece showing a different facet of Walker's true nature. "Look at this one," I said, pulling up an email from 2 years ago. "He actually put it in writing that he'd make sure my family never spoke to me again if I left him." June read it, her face hardening. "Your mother needs to see this. The way she defended him at dinner." "Mum sees what she wants to see," I sighed. "The country club membership, the vacation home, the perfect son-in-law who takes care of everything." "Then we'll make her see the truth," June declared. "All of them." My phone buzzed again. Another text from Walker. "Your mother's worried sick about you. Another thing you've ruined. Come home and fix this mess you've made." I showed June the message, then started typing my response. "You're right about one thing, Walker. I am going to fix this mess." June raised her wine glass. "To fixing messes." I clinked my glass against hers, feeling stronger than I had in years. "To the truth." As I drove home that night, I thought about Joshua's offer to help, about the growing evidence on my laptop, about Daisy's future. The truth would hurt, but lies had been hurting us longer than anyone knew. The grocery store was supposed to be safe territory. It was Tuesday afternoon, my designated time to shop when Walker would normally be at work. But there he stood, in the produce section, holding Daisy's hand. "Mommy!" Daisy broke free and ran to me, wrapping her arms around my waist. "What a coincidence," Walker said smoothly, pushing his cart closer. Daisy wasn't feeling well, so I picked her up from school early. I hugged Daisy tighter, noting how perfectly healthy she looked. "Is that right, sweetie? What's wrong?" "My tummy hurt," she said, but her eyes darted to Walker in a way that made my heart sink. He'd taught her to lie for him. "Joshua called me yesterday," Walker continued, his voice carrying that dangerous edge I knew too well. "Something about wanting to discuss investment opportunities?" "I wouldn't know anything about that," I replied, keeping my voice steady. Walker stepped closer, speaking low enough that Daisy couldn't hear. "You're turning my own brother-in-law against me. That's low, even for you." "Daddy, can I show Mommy my new backpack?" Daisy interrupted, pulling at his sleeve. "Of course, princess." His entire demeanour shifted, becoming the doting father. "It's in the car. Why don't you both come see?" "We're not doing this, Walker," I said firmly. "Daisy, I'll see you this weekend, okay?" Walker's hand shot out, gripping my wrist. "You know, it would be shame if something happened to change our custody arrangement. Unstable mothers rarely get weekend visits." I yanked my arm away, aware of other shoppers watching. "Are you threatening me?" "Just stating facts," he smiled, but his eyes were cold. "Come on, Daisy, Mommy's too busy for us." I watched them leave, my hands shaking, as I pulled out my phone to text June. Walker just ambushed me at the store, with Daisy. Her response was immediate. "I'm calling Joshua." An hour later, I sat in June's living room with Joshua, replaying the voice recording I'd made of the encounter. "He's getting desperate," Joshua observed. "Yesterday, he spent 30 minutes trying to convince me to invest my entire savings in his new venture. Something felt off." "Off how?" I asked. "The numbers didn't add up." I did some digging. Joshua pulled out a folder. "His company's not doing as well as everyone thinks. He's been moving money around, covering losses." June leaned forward. "Is it illegal?" "Not technically, but it's sketchy. He's using personal funds to prop up business accounts, including," Joshua paused, "money from your joint accounts, Maria." My stomach dropped. "What about the money he gave my family? Mum's renovation, Jocelyn's car?" "Borrowed against your house," Joshua confirmed. "The house he's still living in, by the way, even though you're on the deed." My phone buzzed. A text from Jocelyn. "Walker tells me you're harassing him at the grocery store now? Grow up, Maria." I showed them the message. See? He's already spinning it. We need to move faster, June said, before he has time to cover his tracks. Joshua nodded. I have a meeting with him tomorrow about the investment. I'll be wearing a wire. Be careful, I warned. He's smart. He'll be suspicious. Let him be, Joshua replied. I know exactly which buttons to push. Later that night, as I was getting ready for bed, my phone rang. It was my mother. Walker says you're turning Joshua against him now, she started without greeting. Mum, please. No, you listen. That man has done everything for this family. Everything. And this is how you repay him? I took a deep breath. Did you ever ask where all that money came from, Mum? The renovation money? He's successful. He borrowed against my house, I cut in. Money I helped earn, by the way. Did you know that? Silence on the other end. Did you know he's threatening to take Daisy away from me? He wouldn't, she said, but her voice wavered. Check your email, Mom. I just sent you something. I had forwarded her the video from Christmas, where Walker bragged about buying the family's loyalty. The line went quiet as she presumably watched it. This could be taken out of context, she finally said, but she sounded uncertain. There's more, I said. So much more. And soon, everyone's going to see it. Maria, don't do anything rash. Good night, Mum. I hung up and immediately got a text from Walker. Running to Mummy with lies? Remember what I said about Daisy? I forwarded the text to June and Joshua, adding, more evidence for the pile. June responded, he's digging his own grave. She was right. Every threat, every manipulation, every lie was just another piece of evidence. Walker thought he was still in control, but his perfect facade was starting to crack. And tomorrow, Joshua would help it crumble even more. Play it again, June insisted, leaning forward on her couch. I pressed play on Joshua's recording from his meeting with Walker. You're making a mistake, Walker's voice crackled through the speaker. Maria's trying to poison everyone against me. But we both know who really controls this family's finances, don't we? Is that a threat? Joshua's voice was clear, steady. Of course not, Walker laughed, that familiar cold laugh. Just reminding you where your wife's new car came from, where your beach vacation money came from. Loyalty should run both ways, Joshua. I stopped the recording, hands shaking. He's still trying to buy people. But he slipped up, June pointed out. He basically admitted to using money to control the family. My phone buzzed. A text from Jocelyn. We need to talk. Alone. Don't go, June said immediately. It's probably Walker's doing. Or maybe she's finally seeing the truth, I replied, already grabbing my keys. I met Jocelyn at a coffee shop downtown, away from our usual family haunts. She looked tired, her usual perfect appearance slightly dishevelled. Joshua's been acting strange, she said without preamble, asking questions about Walker, about our finances. Maybe he's onto something. Don't start, she snapped, but without her usual venom. I need to know something. That Christmas video you sent, Mum, is there more? I pulled out my laptop. Are you sure you want to see? No, she admitted, but I need to. I showed her 3 videos. Walker threatening to take Daisy. Walker mocking me at a family dinner when he thought no one was watching. Walker admitting to using family finances as leverage. Jocelyn's face grew paler with each video. This can't... He wouldn't... He did. He does. I pulled up the text messages next. Every day. But he's always been so perfect, she whispered. So generous. With money that wasn't his to give, I pointed out. Ask Joshua about that. Her phone buzzed. Walker's name flashed on the screen. She ignored it. The annual family gathering is next week, she said slowly. Everyone will be there. I know, I'm planning. Don't tell me, she cut in. I don't want to know. Just be careful, okay? Walker's been making weird comments about Daisy's custody. As if on cue, my phone dinged with an email. My hand started trembling as I read it. What? Jocelyn asked. Legal notice. Walker's filing for full custody. Claims I'm unstable, unfit. I couldn't finish. Jocelyn reached across the table, surprising me by taking my hand. He can't do that. We won't let him. We? I'm not completely blind, Maria, or stupid. Joshua's been trying to tell me things, and now these videos... She squeezed my hand. I'm your sister. I should have seen it sooner. My phone buzzed again. June. Where are you? Emergency! I have to go, I said, standing. But, Jocelyn, thank you. I found June pacing outside my apartment, holding a thick envelope. This was taped to your door. Inside were photos, me meeting with Joshua, talking to June, even screenshots of text messages I'd sent. A note read, Still want to play this game? Think about Daisy. He's having me followed, I realised, sinking onto my couch. This is good, June said firmly. Good. How is this good? Because he's scared. He's showing his hand. And now we have proof he's stalking you. My phone rang. Joshua. Maria? Walker just called Jocelyn. He's furious. Says you're trying to turn her against him. She's starting to see the truth on her own, I replied. Be careful. He's unravelling, making threats about the family gathering next week. June grabbed my phone, putting it on speaker. That's exactly what we want. Let him unravel. Let him show everyone who he really is. The custody threat is real, I reminded them. He could take Daisy. No judge would grant custody to someone with stalking evidence against them, June countered, waving the envelope. My mother's number flashed on my phone. Another call I couldn't face right now. The gathering is in 6 days, Joshua said. Everything we have, the videos, recordings, financial documents, these photos, it all comes out then. Everyone at once, June agreed. No chance for him to spin it. I looked at the photos scattered across my coffee table, thought of Daisy, of years of manipulation and fear. Okay, I said finally. Let's finish this. June hugged me tight. He wanted consequences? He's about to get them. My phone lit up with Walker's latest text. Last chance, Maria. Drop everything now, or Daisy loses her mother. I showed them the message, and June smiled grimly. Perfect. One more threat for the pile. The family gathering couldn't come soon enough. Are you absolutely sure about this? June asked, helping me organise the evidence folders. 2 days before the family gathering, my apartment had become command central for what June called Operation Truth Bomb. No, I admitted, sealing another envelope. But what choice do I have? My phone rang, Jocelyn again. She'd been calling daily since our coffee shop meeting. Mum's on the warpath, she said without greeting. Walker told her you're planning something for the gathering. Of course he did. I rubbed my temples. What exactly did he say? That you're trying to destroy the family, that you're unstable. She paused. He's got Mum convinced you're going to try to embarrass everyone publicly. Well, he's not entirely wrong, I muttered. Maria. Jocelyn's voice softened. I saw more videos. Joshua showed me the financial records. A knock at my door made me jump. June peeked through the peephole and gasped. It's your mum. I have to go, I told Jocelyn, hanging up as June opened the door. My mother burst in, looking more dishevelled than I'd ever seen her. Whatever you're planning, stop it, right now. Mum, no! She held up her hand. Walker told me everything. How you're trying to ruin his reputation, destroy this family's standing in the community. June stepped forward. Mrs. Swanson, maybe you should. And you, Mum pointed at June, you've always encouraged her worst impulses, always pushed her to be difficult. Difficult? I laughed bitterly. Is that what you call refusing to be manipulated? Walker loves you, Mum insisted. He's given everything to this family. With money that wasn't his. I grabbed the financial documents from my desk. Look at these, Mom. Really? Look. She pushed them away. I don't need to see your fabricated. They're not fabricated, Joshua's voice came from the doorway. We all turned to see him standing there with Jocelyn. The renovation money, Joshua continued. The car, it was all borrowed against Maria's house. Money she helped earn. Mum sank onto my couch. That's not... Walker said. Walker says a lot of things, Jocelyn said quietly. I've seen the proof, Mum. We all have. I pulled up the Christmas video on my laptop. Watch it again. Really, watch it this time. Mum's hands trembled as Walker's voice filled the room, bragging about buying the family's loyalty. Her face paled when it got to the part about using money to keep everyone in line. There's more, I said softly. So much more. The gathering, Mum whispered. You're going to show everyone. They need to know the truth. My phone buzzed. A text from Walker. Your mother seems upset. Shame how you keep hurting your family. Better fix this before Saturday. I showed them the message. Mum's hands clenched into fists. He's been texting me too, Jocelyn admitted, threatening to reveal things about Joshua's business if we support you. June started laying out the evidence folders on my coffee table. Every threat, every manipulation, every lie, it's all documented. But Daisy, Mum protested weakly. I am thinking about Daisy, I snapped. I'm thinking about showing her that her mother isn't weak, that abuse isn't love, that money isn't loyalty. The room fell silent. It was the first time I'd used the word abuse in front of my mother. Abuse, she whispered. What else do you call it, Mum? Jocelyn asked gently. The control, the threats, the manipulation. Mum picked up one of the folders with shaking hands. I need time to process this. The gathering is in 2 days, Joshua reminded everyone. Then I have 2 days, Mum said, standing up. 2 days to decide if I'm ready to face the truth. After she left, Jocelyn hugged me. Our first real hug in months. Whatever happens Saturday, I'm with you. We all are, Joshua added. My phone buzzed again. Walker. Final warning. Stop this now, or Daisy loses everything. June read the message over my shoulder and smiled grimly. He really doesn't get it, does he? Daisy's not losing anything. She's gaining a mother who's finally strong enough to fight back. I looked around at my support system. June, Joshua, and now Jocelyn. Then at the evidence spread across my apartment. Years of pain and manipulation, all documented and ready to be revealed. Saturday, I said firmly. Everything changes on Saturday. Jocelyn squeezed my hand. Everything already has. The annual family gathering always took place in my parents' backyard. As I pulled into the driveway, June squeezed my hand. Ready? No, I admitted, watching Walker's expensive car already parked in its usual spot. But it's time. Joshua met us at the side gate, carrying a stack of manila envelopes. Everything's ready. Jocelyn's keeping Walker distracted. Inside the backyard, familiar faces milled around the buffet table. Aunts, uncles, cousins. All of them had watched me grow up, and all of them had bought into Walker's perfect facade. Mommy? Daisy ran toward me, but Walker intercepted her. Careful, Princess, he said loudly. Mommy's been very emotional lately. We don't want to upset her. Several relatives exchanged knowing looks. I felt their judgment, their assumption that I was the problem. June nudged me. Stick to the plan. I nodded, moving toward the food table where my mother stood arranging desserts. Her hands trembled slightly as she straightened a plate of cookies. Mum? I touched her arm. Did you look at everything I sent? She wouldn't meet my eyes. I need more time. There is no more time, I said softly just as Walker approached. Maria? He smiled his perfect smile. Causing trouble at another family event? Before I could respond, Joshua started moving through the crowd, discreetly placing envelopes at each table. Jocelyn followed with her laptop, setting it up on the main table. Walker's smile faltered. What's this? The truth, I said clearly, loud enough for nearby relatives to hear. Everything you've hidden, every threat, every manipulation, it's all here. She's having another episode, Walker announced to the gathering crowd. We really should get her some help. Play it, I told Jocelyn. The video started. Walker's face appeared on the laptop screen, his mask of perfection gone as he raged at me in our kitchen. You think anyone would believe you? I own this family. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Walker lunged for the laptop, but Joshua blocked him. Open your envelopes, I called out. Every one of you has enabled this. Every one of you has chosen to believe his lies. This is ridiculous, Walker sputtered, but his composure was cracking. These videos are clearly edited. The financial records aren't edited, Joshua cut in. The money you borrowed against Maria's house to buy our loyalty. That's all documented. My Aunt Patricia stood up, waving bank statements from her envelope. You used our renovation loan to manipulate us? To control us, Jocelyn added, her voice strong. To make sure we'd always take his side against Maria. Walker's face twisted with rage. You ungrateful! He caught himself, trying to recover his calm demeanour. This is clearly a coordinated attack on my character. Maria's always been unstable. Play with the custody threat, June called to Jocelyn. A new video started, Walker's face again, this time threatening to take Daisy away if I didn't behave. Oh my God, my mother whispered. She'd been standing frozen, but now she moved toward me. Maria, I didn't know. I didn't want to know. You knew, I said quietly. You all knew. You just chose his money over my truth. Walker looked around wildly, seeing his support crumbling. This is all lies. I've given everything to this family. You've given us nothing but manipulation and threats, Jocelyn shot back. Our own sister, and we chose you over her. Daddy? Daisy's small voice cut through the tension. Why are you yelling in those videos? Walker's face changed. Something dark and ugly emerged. This is what you wanted, to turn my own daughter against me. He started toward me, but Joshua and two of my cousins stepped between us. Don't, Joshua warned. The police already have copies of everything. You're done controlling this family, I said, my voice stronger than I'd ever heard it. Done controlling me. Done controlling Daisy. I'll ruin you. Walker snarled, his perfect mask completely shattered. I'll take everything. No! My mother's voice rang out. She stood straight, tears streaming down her face. You'll leave, now, before I call the police myself. The backyard fell silent. Walker looked around, seeing nothing but hostile faces. Even his strongest supporters were shaking their heads, reading through their evidence packets. This isn't over, he spat, backing away. None of you would be anything without me. As he stormed out, the tension broke. Relatives surrounded me, offering tearful apologies, expressing their shock and shame. But I was watching my mother, who held Daisy close, crying into her granddaughter's hair. I'm so sorry, she kept whispering. I'm so sorry. June squeezed my shoulder. You did it. We did it, I corrected, watching Jocelyn and Joshua embrace nearby. My phone buzzed one last time. Walker. You'll regret this. I deleted the message without responding. He had no power over me anymore, no power over any of us. The truth had finally set us free. The doorbell rang as I finished unpacking the last box in my new house. Not the tiny apartment I'd fled to, but not Walker's mansion either. Something that was just right for Daisy and me. "Coming," I called, stepping around moving boxes to reach the door. My mother stood there, holding a casserole dish. Behind her, Jocelyn carried a bottle of wine. "Housewarming," Mum said tentatively, "if you'll have us." I opened the door wider, letting them in. The house was modest, but warm, with Daisy's artwork already brightening the walls. "Walker's lawyer called this morning," Jocelyn said, setting down the wine. "He's agreeing to the divorce terms." "All of them?" I asked, surprised. "All of them," she confirmed. After the police started investigating his financial dealings, he became more cooperative. Mum busied herself in the kitchen, arranging plates. The country club rescinded his membership yesterday, and the board of his company asked him to step down. "Karma!" June's voice came from the back door. She walked in carrying grocery bags. Sweet, sweet Karma. The sound of running feet preceded Daisy's entrance. "Mommy, Joshua's helping me set up my new swing set. Is he now?" I smiled, watching through the window as my brother-in-law struggled with the instructions. "I'll go help him before he hurts himself." Jocelyn laughed, heading outside. Mum stopped arranging plates, her hands trembling slightly. "Maria, I need to say something." "Mum, we've been through this." "No, please." She turned to face me. "I failed you. We all did. We saw what we wanted to see because it was easier than facing the truth." June squeezed my shoulder before tactfully slipping outside with Daisy. "When your father and I got that renovation money," Mom continued, "we never questioned it. We didn't want to know where it came from, because then we'd have to face what Walker was doing to you." "It wasn't just the money," I said softly. "You chose to believe him over me long before that." "I know." She wiped her eyes. "Yesterday, I donated the entire value of that renovation to a domestic abuse support centre. It's not enough, but—" I hugged her, cutting off her words. After a moment, she hugged back fiercely. "Mommy!" Daisy called from outside. "The swing set is ready!" We broke apart, both wiping our eyes. Through the window, I could see Joshua pushing Daisy on the newly assembled swing, while Jocelyn and June cheered. "Walker's sister called me," Mum said suddenly. "She wants to apologise to you. Said she saw similar behaviour in their childhood, but never spoke up." "There's been a lot of that going around," I noted, but without bitterness. "The truth has a way of spreading." My phone buzzed. A text from Walker's lawyer. "Final divorce papers ready for signature. Mr. Morgan agrees to all terms, including full custody arrangement." "He's leaving town," Mum said, reading over my shoulder. "The scandal was too much for his reputation." "Good," I said firmly. "Daisy deserves better than his influence." Outside, Daisy's laughter floated through the window as Joshua spun her swing in circles. She was healing faster than any of us, her resilient spirit bouncing back now that the tension was gone from her life. "Maria," Mum touched my arm. "Are you happy?" I looked around my new home, at the family photos I'd finally put back up, at Daisy's artwork covering the fridge, at the people who had chosen truth over comfort gathering in my backyard. "I'm free," I answered. "Happy is coming easier every day." June poked her head in. "Hey, we're ordering pizza. The moving company left 1,000,000 boxes to break down." "I'll help," Mum offered immediately. "We all will," Jocelyn added, coming inside with Daisy. "That's what family does." "Real family," I corrected, watching Daisy run to hug her grandmother. My phone buzzed one last time. An unknown number. The message read, "You think you've won? You're nothing without me." I showed the message to June, who grinned and took my phone. She typed quickly, "New phone? Who dis?" and hit send. "Perfect response," Jocelyn laughed, reading over her shoulder. I blocked the number and put my phone away. Walker's threats were powerless now, his carefully constructed facade shattered beyond repair. "Pizza's here!" Joshua called from the front door as my family gathered around my new dining table, the one I'd chosen myself. I watched them laugh and talk and heal together. The truth hadn't destroyed us. It had set us free. "More pizza, Mummy?" Daisy asked, sauce on her chin. "More everything," I said, pulling her close. "More truth, more love, more life. And finally, after all this time, more peace."